This question is on the Newton's third law of motion. So it states that a book is at rest on a table. What is a pair of action reaction forces for this situation according to the Newton's third law? And we have been given four options. So before we solve this question, let us revise quickly the Newton's third law. So have a look. According to the Newton's third law, forces always occur in pairs. So if one force is action, the second force will always be a reaction. That's why we say forces are always in doubles, in twos. And this law states that if a body A exerts a force on body B, then the body will exert an equal and opposite force on body A, which means, just to summarize, we need two objects A and B in every situation. So if A is applying a force on B, then B will apply the same force on A. So the magnitude is the same, but the direction is opposite. So we are going to apply this logic in our current question. So here we have been given a book is at rest on a table. So we need to identify what is A here and what is B here. So there is a book and a table. So we can say A here is the book itself, and the other object B will be the table. So according to the Newton's third law, if the book is applying a force on table, then the table will also apply the same force on the book. And let's see in which option does that exist. In option A, we see one force is the force of book on the table, but the force 2 is the force of the book and the earth. Now this doesn't satisfy what we need, because had the force 2 been the force of the table on the book, then option A would have been correct. Let me repeat. So force 1 should be book on the table, and force 2 should be opposite, table on the book. If we look at option B, the force of table on the earth, let's say this is one force. So for the force 2 to become the Newton's third law pair, we need to reverse this. So the force 2 should be earth on the table, which is not the case in option B. Similarly, in option C, force 1 is the force of the earth on the book. So to complete the pair, the second force should be the book on the earth. So the reverse of this, the book on the earth, which incidentally is true for option C. But still, let us analyze option D as well. In option D, force 1 is the force of the earth on the book. So we reverse this. Force 2 should be the book on the earth, which is not true for option D. Hence, option D is also incorrect. So the answer is C. All right. So when we started the question, I said A is the book and B is the table. So one pair of forces will be book on the table and table on the book. That's one pair. But we don't have that pair in any of these options. That is why we select an option where force 1 and force 2 have similar set of objects. For example, in option C, what is A and what is B? So if you read both forces in option C, you will deduce that earth is one of the objects and book is the another object. So let me write, if A is the earth, so B will be the book. So if Earth is applying a force on the book, so the book is going to apply the same force on Earth. That is true for option C. And that's how we solve questions of Newton's third law. All we need to determine is what are the two objects A and B. So force 1 will be A applying a force on B, and the force 2 will be the B applying the same force on A. But of course, the direction is opposite.